reviewers, either or, guess it doesn't matter. Bob Cotter asked me how I treat my bags, so with my canvas bags, how to waterproof them. So I'm going to show you a method which I think has a really high cool factor, and I want to preface this video with I am not a canvas or fabric expert. This is just trial and error and things that I have done in the past that seem to work for me, and I haven't had any issue with my bags, so they haven't fallen apart or anything. One way, and one very bulletproof way to wax your bags, your canvas or cotton bags, is the what I call the chemical method. And basically, you're just going to take a pound of beeswax, put it into something you can melt it in, whether it be a 1-gallon paint bucket, empty bucket from Home Depot. You're going to melt that down. You're going to take it off of the flame, off of the heat. Beeswax will stay in a liquid form for a good period of time. And you're going to add 8 ounces of turpentine, and you're going to add 8 ounces of linseed oil. Now, in my Duluth video, I applied just an otter wax to that bag, and I said that the chemical way stinks and it's a mess. Absolutely, I will still tell you that stuff stinks. You have to do it outside, and it will stay in the bag for about 2 or 3 days. The smell will, and it's messy. However, it will treat that bag to the point of it almost being 100% waterproof. And what I mean by that, most canvas bags are not made to be 100% waterproof. They have little openings and pockets and buckles and things of that nature that if you dunk it in water, unlike a dry bag, you're going to get water in it. But as far as treating the outside of it and making it water resistant so that in a heavy rain or heavy downpour, the water's not going to get into the bag, the chemical way to treat those bags is really the way to go. And you're just going to rub it on. It's almost like a paste or a soap. You're going to heat it up with a heat gun, or I prefer using just a blow dryer. You can control the heat a little better that way, and you don't have to be in such a hurry with the blow dryer. Now, the third way, and I decided to do this to my Duluth pack because I think it has a really high cool factor. The third way to treat it is this. And yeah, I know, that is pretty cool. Now, how do you do that? Well, what I did is I had a coat of otter wax on there, and that's what I use, just the otter wax fabric care, heavy wax fabric, and it's like a bar of soap, basically how it comes. And what I did is I just rubbed that on. You could heat the bag up or the bar a little bit. It goes on a little easier. Then I just took a blow dryer and heated it up till it saturated into the bag. But after scouting around with this bag for a while, I've come to the conclusion that I absolutely love this bag, and this is going to be with me pretty much any activity that I'm going to do, unless it's a long, 1-week trip. But this is going to suit my needs for 95% of all my activities. So I told myself, well, I'm going to go back and chemically treat it so that it is impervious to water. So I did that. I applied the chemical wax to it, let it sit out a couple overnights in the garage. That gets rid of the smell, and then it ends up just kind of smelling like honeycomb. And then for some reason, I decided I'm going to put a coat of otter wax on top. Don't ask me why. This is not what my expectations were. I just decided I was going to put another layer of wax on it. And so I put the otter wax over top of that dried chemical wax and left it in the garage overnight. Again, you just apply this, rub it on, heat it up with a blow dryer. Now, because I had probably a coat and a half of wax already on this, the otter wax did not completely penetrate into the bag. There were some areas that looked it still kind of had that wet look to it. But it didn't really concern me. And I left it overnight, and I went out, grabbed the bag, and I thought, wow, that looks really nice because it darkened the bag up a little bit. And I folded it. And when I did that, I noticed it left this really nice marbling on the bag. Now, the reason it did that, or at least my guess as to why it did that, is the otter wax is a little lighter and it dries a little cloudier than the chemical wax. And so with that applied over top, and since it isn't saturated 100% into the bag because of the other layer of wax underneath it, every time I fold that, it kind of makes a little marbling effect in this outer layer of wax. Now, you're probably thinking, well, it's tacky or sticky or heavy, and guys, it really isn't. I'm not sure why it did that, but you got to admit that looks really good. So I took the bag and set it like that in my sink, and I filled the middle of it with water overnight. And when I came back in the morning, I rolled the water off, and it was absolutely 100% dry inside. Not one drop of water went into this bag. So hopefully this helps out. And I want to thank Bob Cotter for saying, hey, how do you do this? Well, not this, but how do you wax the bags? And this is, for me, this is the cool factor. Now, I will tell you, you don't want to do this type of marbling finish. Well, maybe you do, but on black and OD green, to me, it looks like the old airbrush t-shirts. It's kind of cheesy looking, but on your khakis and tans, this looks really cool. So this is Jeff with the Common Sense Camper, camping out.